Hi everybody, it's your friend Vash, aka Triqqerhappy77 on Instagram. And today I'm looking at my Studio Series 86 Constructicons. Now, I don't know, actually, I don't know if it's still 86. They took that away from the title, so I think it's just Studio Series Constructicons now, but I I like the 86 in the title. That's one of my first of all, the Studio Series 86 line has been nothing but joy for me since it first began. So now we're up to the Studio Series, and I'm gonna say 86. So bear with me, even though I know it's not in the title anymore. I'm gonna keep saying 86. They've put out the Studio Series 86 Constructicons, right? Where once you get all six, you'll be able to combine them to form Devastator. Now I've noticed a lot of people are like, "Well, we already have Combiner Wars Devastator, and he's amazing." I have Combiner Wars Devastator. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's like, I want to say one of my prized pieces because he's just amazing. He's a giant Titan class combiner, and it looks great. Since the day I got. Matter of fact, again, I remember when they announced him coming out during Combiner Wars, and I was like, "Oh, I have to get that." He was my very first Titan figure, and I was like, because I had just started collecting Transformers when Combiner Wars started. So I'm looking at him like, oh wow, I've got to get the Constructicon. Like, he's so cool. And he is. To this day, he's a great looking piece, and I'm glad to have him here in my collection. The thing about the Combiner Wars Devastator is, in order to be that big, they had to make the Constructicons big. Like, if you put a Constructicon next to, say, for instance, Megatron or Soundwave, they're huge. Now, when it comes to Studio Series 86, what I'm looking for are individual Constructicons that will fit with the rest of the Decepticons size-wise, and Studio Series 86 is doing that. Now, a lot of people are like, well, they look just like the Combiner Wars one. They didn't really do much to them other than make them smaller, and maybe like Scrapper has elbow joints now, which is awesome, and they each come with their own blasters. But they really didn't do much. But that's the thing. The Combiner Wars Devastator was designed to resemble their cartoon form. And so is Studio Series 86. So there really wasn't much they could do to change them, because they're both supposed to look like the same thing, for the most part. So yeah, they're not going to be that much different. But what they're going for is their size. So if you want to have your Constructicons standing around talking to the Decepticons and shooting the breeze, is that the right term? Shooting the breeze? Then yeah, you want this size. And so that's a reason to grab all of the Constructicons in this line. Yeah, well, I only have two so far, because only two have been released. All six have been announced, and we've seen what they're going to look like. But only the first two, Scrapper and Bonecrusher, are available as of this video. So I'm enjoying both of them. Now, they don't have waist swivels, and I'm like, I wish they did, but I see that they couldn't have waist swivels based on the way that they transform and the way that they combine. These guys couldn't have them, and I'm like, okay, as long, it's not like the Hasbro team forgot to give it to them or said, nah, they look better without waist swivel. No, it's just that with the engineering, it just wasn't possible to get it into this size with this amount of tooling at this price point. So I'm all about it. Now, like I said, they did give Scrapper elbow joints, which is a huge improvement over the Combiner Wars Scrapper, because it really looked silly that he didn't have any elbow joints. And it might seem like a small thing, but the fact that they gave each one of them their own individual blaster is hats off to you guys. I really, really wanted blasters for each one, and now we have them. Bonecrusher, I'll admit, he's a little chunky. It's not like the Constructicons were the most like well-designed figures and characters in the first place. Like, there's really not much you can do with Bonecrusher. Some people I noticed were painting his treads because they didn't like the all green, and I get it. The all green has a lot to deal with, but he was all green in the cartoon. I believe the original toy was all green, wasn't it? So, I mean, yeah, it might look better if he had different treads, but if you're trying to make a figure that looks like he did in the cartoon, the green treads are where it's at. That's how he was. So look, besides the waist swivel thing, I'm A-okay with both Scrapper and Bonecrusher so far. As I was saying earlier, if you want to have a giant combiner, you're going to have giant figures. Or, the other issue is, in order for you to have a decent sized combiner, you'll need extra parts, like add-on parts, like what is it? Motor Master, how they let the trailer be the main part of Minosaur when the Stunticons combine, or with Superion with the aerial bots, they gave Silverbolt an extra like body part, like a skeleton, for them to combine into, so that it helps the overall combined figure look better. And I am completely fine with that. With the little carrying thing that Long Haul comes with, because Long Haul is the lower portion of Devastator. If you look at Combiner Wars Long Haul, the guy is huge. He's huge, but they had to make him huge because he was the main body and the thighs of Devastator. With the Studio Series 86 Long Haul, they made him the regular size, and they just gave him an extra add-on body part to help make Devastator look the correct size. I say do that for every combiner. Give him an extra piece to make him look better. But don't get me wrong, that's my opinion. I know other people don't like parts formers. A parts former is when you have to take an extra part to make the figure transform, or take a part off for it to transform, and you're left with like an extra piece. I don't mind that for the combiners. I don't like it for individual figures, like what was it? The Netflix Bumblebee / Cliff Jumper. That one we had to take off the back part of the car to transform them. That I didn't care for. I would rather it just be one physical body. But now we have Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, who doesn't need to take anything off to transform. He just transform, which that means hopefully we'll get a Cliff Jumper to go alongside him. And just like Devastator, the Predacons suffered the same thing. So in the line Power of the Primes, they came out with the Predacons, who are, again, I love the Predacons. I love their combined form Predaking. What I don't like is the giant leg piece that's stuck under who are the leg guys? Tantrum and Headstrong. They have these giant leg pieces under them that they look like they're in the way. I wish they were detached and I could just add them on when I'm ready to make Predaking. So there were quite a few things about the Power of the Primes Predacons that I was like, I wish could have been better. But overall, great figure. And this Predaking is really amazing. But in the meantime, I am enjoying Scrapper and Bonecrusher a lot. And one of the biggest reasons that I bought them was because in the 1986 cartoon, the Constructicons built Triqqerhappy out of a city. And I was like, oh, that's so cool because the Constructicons are coming. And also they just released Age of the Primes Triqqerhappy in 1986 cartoon colors. So I'm like, oh, I got to get all that together so I can have the Constructicons build Triqqerhappy. Why wouldn't I? So overall, I'm just ranting about the fact that I do enjoy the 2 Constructicons that I've gotten so far from the Studio Series 86 line, and I can't wait for the rest, and I will talk and rant about those when I get them. If you enjoyed my rant about the Constructicons, let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see more videos about me randomly talking about Transformers, then walk on over to that subscribe button and mash that down real quick. And always remember, there's no right way to collect, and everyone's collection is different. Thanks for listening to me rant about the Studio Series 86 Constructicons. We'll be back.